All right, here we are in week 8, Spanish 1, quarter 3. Um, let's go ahead and get started. So first, I'm taking a look at the. I'm going to take a look at the at this week. So let me get it here so we can share real quick. So if you go into Schoology and we go to materials, of course. Quarter 3, and then week 8. You'll be good to go. Okay, so first you're going to take a look at this. There's both grammar and vocabulary this week. So first, let's take a look at the grammar. Okay, and we'll take a look at the overview. And in this section we'll learn how to use multiple verbs together to form questions and statements. Okay, and the vocabulary that we're going to see this week is based off of things that you'll find in the house or places in the house. Okay, so we'll start out here with this description of los verbos auxiliares auxili, auxiliares, auxiliares. So those are auxiliary verbs that accompany other ones. So if you take a look here, you have when a Spanish verb is followed by another verb, the most common pattern is verb plus the infinitive. Now, if you remember, the infinitive verbs that end in AR, ER, or IR. And let me get to whiteboard so I can write this out for you. Make sure it makes sense to you. Let's see. Okay. All right. So yeah, like I was saying, let me get this back up. Okay. So yeah, when you remember your verbs, your infinitive ends in AR, ER, or IR. Okay. Remember with the infinitive, remember the word infinitive. Remember infinitive kind of means infinity in a way, right? So it means you have no tense, so you don't know when it's happening, and it doesn't say who did it or who's the subject. So I put no subject. Okay. In English, the infinitive of verbs would be like to work or to study or to like. Okay, so anytime we have to in front of the word, that's our infinitive in English. When I say to work, I don't know who's doing the action or when the action is actually happening. Okay, so what we're doing here with these is we're adding the we're adding the we're going to use the infinitive with a verb that's already conjugated. So if you want to say something like this one that we have here, let me zoom in for you. If you have something like should work, for example, okay, or like you're obligated to work, we have right there, debo trabajar. Notice, trabajar. Notice that we have debo right here. That's conjugated, okay? That comes from the word deber. See, it ends in ER. So we got rid of the ER and we put an O at the end. So you say who's doing the work, who's the subject, because it's an O, it's yo, right? So yo debo trabajar. Trabajar. So yo debo trabajar. Okay, so notice here we conjugate it so we know who's doing it. And then the second verb right here stays in the infinitive. Okay? Something that might make a little bit more sense. We have deseo trabajar. The word deseo or desear, that means to wish. Okay, it's your desire to do something. Whoa, what happened there? Okay, I think I have to desear. Okay, so you guys can see that. I don't know what happened right there. Well, that's great. We can't see it anyway. Okay, so yeah, we have desear, which means to wish, but it's not going to work, is it? Okay, so we have to wish right there. Okay, so if I want to say I wish or really want to do something, you say yo deseo, right? Get rid of that AR, put an O right there, right? So whatever you want to do, if you want to say deseo trabajar, I wish to work, it would be trabajar. Okay, or I really want to work, or estudiar, who wants to work or study, right? Or maybe play or jugar. Okay, so notice all of these in the infinitive. So whenever you end up having a verb that you end up conjugating, or whenever you're talking about something and you need to place another verb right after it, the first one's going to be conjugated, the other one's not. You're just going to use the infinitive form of the verb. Okay, let's look at a couple more examples. Okay, that's not what I want. Okay, let's move this over here then. Bear with me for a second. Here we go. Okay. Where's my Schoology? What's going on here? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So look, we have. Let me move this over here to the side. All right. Poder, for example. Poder means to be able to do something or can. I'll put to be able to. To be able to. If I want to say, I can ski. I can. We conjugate it. We get rid of that er. You put an o there, right? But this is a stem changing verb, so it's actually puedo. P-U-E. That o changes to u-e right there. Okay. So puedo, which is I can ski, be esquiar. Okay. So notice this is conjugated. This one's in the infinitive. Okay. Anything that you can do. Puedo ganar buenas notas. So this is I can earn good grades, right? So notice, puedo is conjugated, ganar is in the infinitive, buenas notas, okay? So let me know if you guys have questions about that. Then down here in Schoology, you have a little bit more explaining done over here. So let's see, that describes everything that's going there. And this also applies to questions, like, do you like to drink water? Right, so upside down question mark. Actually, that's not what I want. So upside down question mark. Do you like? Te gusta? Notice this is please you. Please you. So this is already conjugated, right? Pleases you to drink. Tomar agua. So I mean, in English, we say, do you like to drink water? Or direct translation would be, does it please you to drink water? Okay, so the gusta, the idea of drinking the water, because it's the idea, is conjugated as an A, right? So te gusta tomar agua. Notice this is conjugated. This right here is in the infinitive form. Okay, so that's the way you can do questions. Another question might be, you know, are you learning Spanish? I might say, so are you learning? So aprender means to learn, right? But because it's you're asking someone, it's you added an es to the end. So aprendes español. Okay, so that's, are you learning Spanish? Now, if I want to say, are you learning to speak Spanish? You say aprendes, because to speak is the verb, right? So aprendes a hablar español. Okay? And you can notice the difference here. You can say aprendes español, which is, are you learning Spanish? Or you can say aprendes a hablar español. So when you're talking about the speak, you end up adding the AR, or the whole verb right there in the infinitive. If I want to say aprendes a escribir, or write, You put, aprendes escribir español, right? That's the question, right? And if you respond, you might say, sí, aprendo escribir español, right? Or if you're not, you might say, no aprendo. Okay, notice that's conjugated. Escribir is not in the infinitive. No aprendo a escribir español. Okay, so we never have two verbs following each other. The first one's going to be conjugated. The second one's going to be in the infinitive. No, you're good. No worries, man. Over here, let's see. Some verbs follow the verb, preposition, plus infinitive. So preposition in this case would be either a, for which means to, or de, which most of the time means from or of. But in this case, it really doesn't mean much of anything, But the way it goes here, first one, we have aprendo a trabajar. So whenever you learn anything, did I even do that in the last few examples? No, so it should be aprendo a. So whenever you learn anything, you use aprender. You should always put an a at the end. Okay, so aprendes a escribir español. Sí, aprendo a escribir español. Aprendes a español. Okay, yeah, like how I messed that one up, guys. But yeah, that's the way it goes. Okay. Another one, empezar. Whenever you use empezar, whenever you start to do something or to begin to do something, you put the a at the end. So empezar a, right? So I might be starting to exercise. I'll say, yo empiezo a hacer ejercicio. Okay, so empezar, yo empiezo a hacer ejercicio. So before we just learn, we just have to conjugate that first one and then make the infinitive. Well, for these, you also need to add the a on there as well. Okay, so right here we suggest, to remember these patterns, learn these phrases right here, these words with the a at the end. Okay, so learn it as aprender a, empezar a, or ir a, salir a, venir a. Okay. Here's an interesting right here, acabo. The verb acabar means to finish or to complete something. Complete. To finish or to complete. So if you want to say, I just finished taking out the garbage, I would say, I would conjugate acabo, get rid of the AR right there. And because I did it, I would say acabo, and then because we always follow that with the de, acabo de sacar la basura. Basura. Okay? So notice, we conjugate, infinitive right there, and we have de right there. Okay? Now with this one, if I want to say, I ended with the O there, meaning that I did it. Yo acabo de sacar la basura. If I want to say he just took out the garbage, or he just finished taking it, it actually means he just finished. I would say the ending would be acaba. But actually, I should indicate who that person is, right? So I'll say él, right? So I could say he, or I could say the señor, right? El señor acaba de sacar la basura. Basura. Okay, so we have el señor, that's one person, that's a he. Okay, so we're going to conjugate with the a at the end. Sacar is it's in the infinitive, and then de right there, that just goes there all the time. Okay. Dejo de trabajar, that means, stop doing something. It's another one you just have to remember to put the de. If you forget to do something, olvidar de, okay, tratar de. Whenever you're trying to do something, tratar de. So you just have to remember these right here. You know, they have the a for those, and those have the de at the end. All right. Also, notice here we have in the English equivalent of Spanish constructive, blah, 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 the second verb may have an ing ending. So when you translate it, it might sometimes sound different, right? So this example is like, I prefer to work with you. Or people might say, I prefer working with you. Both of those mean the exact same thing in English, but we say it two different ways. Well, in Spanish, we get a break for a change, right? It's one way. So, prefiero de trabajar contigo. That means one thing. So that AR, sometimes it means to do something, or sometimes it be the ing ending. Sometimes, but remember, it's very rarely is it that ing ending, but sometimes it is. Remember, you know this. I don't know if I think we went over this. If we have estudiando, you know that's actually the ing meaning, right? So if I want to say I am studying, it would be estoy estudiando. Estudiando. I am studying. Okay, so that ando, that's going to be the ing. That's called the future perfect. Okay, just like if I say I am writing. That's not the future perfect. That's the present progressive. I'm sorry. So I am writing, or you are writing. That's the present progressive. So it's happening in the present, but it's progressive. So it's happening in that particular moment. So if you're doing Spanish, this is a huge segue. It's something I didn't even want to do. But we have I am, and then you are, and then you just put the verb. Estudiar, or writing would be escribir. Escribir. But because it's that ing, it's escribiendo. It's just different ending. Okay, I think we went over that, but nah, not even what I'm trying to teach today. So don't worry about that. Anywho, uh, next right here we have flashcards, so you can practice this wonderful thing you just learned. And then there's a quiz right here where you just practice, where you end up, well, practicing pretty much until you get it all right, because you can take it unlimited times. Answering these questions right here. Okay, so right here, let me do a preview so you can see what this looks like here. Begin text. Zoom in the tittle. So what you need to do for these, you need to answer the questions, okay, in complete sentences. If it's not in complete sentence, it'll be marked wrong, okay? And keep it basic. Answer the questions just like it is here. Don't get all fancy, okay? Otherwise, it'll be marked wrong. So right here we have aprendes a esquiar. Remember, aprender, whenever we use that verb, we have to put an A at the end. So aprendes a esquiar. So you learn to ski. So you can say yes, and if you do say yes, you write sí. Make sure you include your accent mark and the comma. Okay, if you don't do both of those, it'll be marked wrong. Okay, so sí, aprendo a esquiar. Or if you don't, you can write no. Same thing. No. Make sure you put the comma right there. No aprendo a esquiar. So remember that no right here, it's answering the question. Do you are you learning to ski? No, right? But then that's the no right there. Or because we're writing a complete sentence, we need to add the I'm not learning to ski. So that no right here, the second no is the not. Okay, so no is you answering the question, and then the rest here is the rest of the sentence. No aprendo a esquiar. I'm not learning to ski. Okay. Let's get another one real quick. Debes ir a la escuela. It says, should you go to school? Or ought you go to school? I know we don't use that word a lot, do we? Ought. Doesn't even sound right in the United States, does it? Ought. But I like that verbs. Very good. Ought. So shouldn't you go? Okay, so you should say, yes, I should. Of course. So you say, sí, accent mark, comma, debo ir a la escuela. Escuela, period. Make sure you include that period, okay? Notice you have this is conjugated here. The next verb isn't. Two verbs right next to each other. First one's conjugated, second one isn't. All right? So yeah, make sure you do that until you get everything right. Okay? If you have any questions, have run into problems, let me know. More than likely it's a missing period or punctuation or something like that. All right? And then that's it for that section right there. And then we have some vocabulary we need to practice here. So let's take a glance at that. No, don't go back to the grammar there. So this week the vocabulary focuses on places in your house. Hallways, upstairs, downstairs, toilet, washroom, attic, terrace. Anyone have a terrace? Balcony, story, apartment, office, study, all that stuff, okay? So yeah, so study these. I went through and I recorded
La entrada.
all of these.
La en.
I went ahead and recorded those, so make sure you listen to them, practice them, make sure you sound flawless on them. And then when you're ready, you can go ahead and take the quiz, which asks you to pronounce those words to the best of your abilities in Spanish. But before you get to that, you want to make sure you understand what all the words mean. I threw these flashcards up here for you guys to use. If that's not your best means of studying, also have little PowerPoint pictures of all these places. And let's see right here, this should be a just a regular old PDF for you just to look at the words right there. So you have access to them. You don't have to jump through a whole bunch of hoops to see the vocabulary words. So study those well, because if you don't study vocabulary well, you won't know how to say anything. All right? Yeah. And then let's see what else do we have here. Vocabulario. We have a discussion here as well. I went ahead and I started the discussion. Okay, it's called Lo que hago en mi casa. So what do I do in my house? And I wrote a short little paragraph about what I do in my house, attempting to focus on the vocabulary from the past couple of pages. Okay, have fun with it, yeah, it's all good. Okay, so last but not least is the quiz that I kind of mentioned earlier. We have a little matching area for you to match the different words. Then also down here you have where you can record your pronunciation. Okay, and if you have questions about pronunciation, let me know. All right, I don't have anything else to share.
Teachers, just a reminder, if you're interested,
here we go with the numerous announcements in the middle of my recording.
The ninth graders' grades and Saturday stuff. Please join us in room 602 at 3:30. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so make sure you get that done. Any questions, let me know. Oh, I almost forgot. I have some practice for us to do real quick. So I'm going to do a couple of these. I'd like for you guys to do the last two. So I'll do 1 and 2 so you can see them as examples. And the last two, I need you guys to turn them into the Dropbox area where you're watching this video. Okay, so all I'm doing here is answering these questions. Okay, so first we have, first one says, ¿Aprendes a ser piloto de avión? So it's saying, are you learning to be an airplane pilot? Right? And I might say, this is just like the last ones we talked about, right? So I might say, sí, aprendo, because you're talking about yourself, aprendo a ser piloto de avión. Okay? So notice here we have aprendo, that's conjugated to saying who's doing it. And then ser, that's your following verb, and you have a. So I'm learning to be a pilot of plane. Okay? Pilot of plane. Yes, that's the way we speak in Spanish. Okay, next one. You know what? I'm going to change this next one a little bit because everything's asking about you. Let's make this aprende. I'll say él aprende. And we already did an L. Let's do a again. So she learns to draw. She's learning to draw. You can answer with no. No. And because it's a person, a girl, one person, you respond, no aprende a dibujar. Okay? All right. So, like I said, why don't you guys go ahead and answer those two questions and then turn them in to me and in Dropbox, and it's all good. If there's any questions, let me know. Don't have anything else for you, and I believe this coming week we have TCAP for 9th and 10th graders, so I'm probably not going to assign much of anything. And after that, I think it'll be the last week of school, so I probably won't do anything new and let you guys get caught up. But look out for the updates so you know exactly what's going on, okay? Like I said, again, if there's any questions, problems, concerns, whatever, holler. All right, guys. Peace.